Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Craig Moore. I'm the CEO and founder of Beehive. So what is Beehive? We're effectively an SME digital lending platform. So we launched in 2014, so we're now about 3.5 years old. We've got over 6,000 registered investors. We've funded over 200 businesses to a total, we're about 160 million dirhams now, so I guess in dollars that's about $43, $44 million. And we allow individual investors to invest over our platform into creditworthy businesses. So when we launched in 2014, we had to build a lot of the ecosystem because it didn't exist. And I'll come on to that in a second. But we've done a few interesting things. First of all, we're the first regulated platform in the MENA region. So we've worked very closely with regulators to help drive regulation and bring that through. We, in 2015, became the first platform globally to become certified Sharia compliant. So a lot of the transactions we do over our platform are actually Sharia compliant. We also work with the government in the UAE. So we partnered with the Mohammed bin Rashid Fund, which essentially means for certain types of businesses, our investors can invest in those businesses, lend to those businesses, and in the event of a default, it's 100% capital guarantee. So we're trying to use the public-private partnership to what we feel is the best use case. And we've raised over $10 million over the last 3 years in a number of series of raises. And we've also picked up a number of awards on our journey. So as a company, we build all our own tech. All the tech's done in-house and built in the team in the UAE. So we're able to deliver that across multiple different platforms. One of the things that when we set up in 2014, the UAE didn't actually have a credit bureau. So we had to build a proprietary credit model that would allow us to do unsecured lending and generate the trust for the investors that they could make a meaningful return and that we were lending to creditworthy businesses. We're in the UAE. We've got operations in Thailand. We piloted in KSA, Saudi Arabia. And we're also looking at other countries as we go along. Fundamentally, whilst we're trying to reduce the cost of finance for SMEs, it's actually time to finance. So the most important thing for SMEs is that how quickly can they get access to that finance. So if we can drive down that takes the time to finance, then that can increase the return on investment of their borrowing. And if we look at ourselves against the banks in the UAE, our NPLs and defaults are just over 1% in unsecured lending. Even the most conservative banks are probably 4 to 5% in that market space. We deliver 3 different products at the moment: business finance, which is an amortized loan, invoice financing for short-term 60, 120 day, and also project finance. And we continually look at new products that we can bring to the market if we believe that it will help the SMEs and be attractive for the investor base. And essentially, we're helping drive the cost, we're accelerating that time, and we're also improving that access, because a lot of businesses in growing economies are actually knowledge-based businesses, asset-light businesses, and banks have traditionally struggled to lend to those kind of organizations. So that whole background has allowed us, with our team, our platform, operations, credit, and our regulatory background, has given us an adaptability and ability to bring products to market quite quickly, actually the knowledge to then go and execute. And our focus now is on new markets, but also corporate solutions. So that's when we start working with banks, financial institutions to be an effective and efficient distribution mechanism for their balance sheets, but to also work with corporate clients who have got origination opportunities, and we can bring lending solutions to them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Right on time. Any questions from the judges? Megan.
So it's a great product, but it's very crowded space globally, and I notice you're looking to focus on new markets. How do you plan to continue to differentiate as you expand?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. So we see ourselves very much as an emerging markets player. So if you talk about the UK, for example, so the UK, lots and lots of platforms. But the important thing in emerging markets versus more developed markets is the third-party ecosystem. It's very, very developed. It's a lot easier to do a peer-to-peer platform in the UK when you can go to an Experian data feed, a company's house data feed. So there's a lot more information that you can pull. Whereas when you go into the markets that we targeted, it's very, very difficult. One, the banks tend to have a fairly closed shop, so there are huge profit pools to attack, but you've got to overcome a lot of the challenges. So I wouldn't expect a funding circle or a lending club any time to come into any of the emerging markets that we look at. They're more likely to go Australia, right? They're more likely to go to Europe, and that's what you see. So if you look at the established, it takes a certain type of mindset, DNA, to actually be able to open up more emerging markets and solve some of the problems that have stopped others going into those markets before. So it's a mindset, essentially.